In today's episode, Kate asks, when you write proposals, do you spell out everything or do you try and keep things simple and streamlined? We're debating whether our proposals should be super detailed or templated to make things fast and easy. It depends. It depends on what the proposal is. Generally speaking, when I write proposals, I start with a template because otherwise I'll forget things, just to be perfectly honest. There's things that just forget to include. And the worst thing you can do is forget to include something and then have to explain later to the client, oh yeah, sorry about that, forgot that was a thing, or you set expectations improperly. The proposal templates that I use are typically 4 parts. So it's strategy, tactics, execution, and payment, or STEP for short. The most detail is in execution. So strategy is like, why are we doing the thing? It's sort of like the executive summary. Tactics are, what are the things that we're going to do? And then execution is, how are we going to do the thing? And so all the detail really is in execution. Budget, time frame, deliverables, prerequisites, fees, out-of-pocket costs. All those things that someone can look at and go, okay, I know what's supposed to be happening. And the things that I think are the most important are, obviously budget and time frame are important, but the deliverables and the prerequisites are where I know I've gotten into trouble a lot in the past, and also clients have gotten into trouble where they didn't realize that there were expectations that were incumbent upon them. So having those deliverables and those prerequisites are super important. The prerequisites are, here's what we need to do the job. If we don't have these things, we can't meet the time frame. And so being very clear, we need access to your Google Analytics, or access to this data, or an hour a week with stakeholders. Whatever the thing is that you need to get the job done, being super, super clear about that. And I think it's great to be detailed in the prerequisites so that you can later go back and say, we did or we did not get the thing done. The deliverables are also, we have to be very, very clear. And the deliverables are what are people doing? And again, one of the little tricks that I find so important with deliverables is making sure that both parties have deliverables. So it's not just your agency that is writing out the proposal and saying, here's what we're going to do. It's here's what everybody is doing. If you're, for example, doing a Google Analytics or Google Data Studio dashboard project, one of the deliverables that the client would be responsible for would be, what metrics matter to your organization? What are the key outcomes that you care about? Without that information, you can deliver a dashboard, but it's not going to be what the client wants. So having things spelled out for everybody involved in the project really is the value of a great proposal. The template that we use and the structure that we use is, more than anything, it's a compendium of lessons learned, everything that's gone wrong in the past, right? So that we cover all the bases. I remember, back in the old days, I used to use a template provided to me by the company I worked for, and there was always stuff that was unclear about billing, or there was always stuff that was missing from a proposal, particularly if it was a collaborative proposal with another team, and we always got burned. We always got burned on something. Either somebody didn't have the data that they were expected to have, team members were not available that should have been. And so, especially for any kind of collaborative effort, a templated proposal that clearly spells out expectations is essential. It's almost like a project management plan in a lot of ways. If you think about a proposal as a project management plan, it becomes a lot easier to write because you're like, oh, okay, I need to put these things in. One of the things that I'm considering putting into proposals is spelling out in writing, these are the stakeholders. These are the people who are the points of contact, so that, again, it's super clear your participation is expected on this project, or it's not. Either way, it's very clear who's doing what. When you look at a project management plan, There's time, there's resources, there's owners, who owns what, and all the expectations are spelled out. Now, how detailed do you get on a proposal? You get as detailed as you need to be in order to demonstrate your expertise, is how I feel about it, in that a proposal that's too short and too vague obviously burns you on the project management side, but it also makes you look generic, right? If you have a methodology that works for you, whatever your strategy, tactics, and execution are, spell out as much of it as you feel comfortable without giving away any proprietary, intellectual property. But spell out as much as you can so that it clearly demonstrates why somebody is hiring you. Because one of the things that happens is that scopes of work and proposals get circulated internally around a company, and they will get into the hands of people who did not sit on the input call, did not sit on the sales pitch if you're pitching. And as a result, they're looking at this for the first time, trying to evaluate you as a company. This is especially important if your point of contact is not the decision maker. So you want to be as detailed as possible to distinguish yourself from other proposals that may be in the mix. And to quote my friend Tamsin Webster, artfully restating the problem in great detail is a fantastic way of demonstrating your expertise and your understanding, because that's how that's how you prove to a client that you know them, that you know what you're talking about. You've seen this problem before, that you can deal with this problem on their behalf. So in the strategy section, that's typically where you'd spend a lot of time artfully restating the problem, the challenge that you're trying to solve, so that when a client picks it up and reads it, they go, yep, that's me. That's exactly what I want. I want someone to fix this problem. This is my big problem. And then the tactics and execution detail to what you're going to do to solve that problem and how you're going to do it. Now, can somebody steal that? Of course they can. But they would anyway. I wouldn't be so terribly concerned that someone's going to try to do something nefarious, because if they are, they are. There's not much you can do about that. Here's an example. If I say, I'm going to do an attribution analysis for you, I'll say, we're going to do an attribution analysis, and we're going to use machine learning algorithms of our choice. Now, do you need to know whether, and does this belong in the proposal, whether we're going to use Shapley game theory versus Markov chains? No, that's a level of detail too deep, and it wouldn't be helpful for the most part, unless your client contact is an engineer, is an AI engineer. But for most people, just being able to say, yep, we're going to use machine learning algorithms, and we'll choose the best algorithm based on the condition of your data and stuff, is enough detail. And yes, they could absolutely find the data science team in their own company and do it themselves. But if they were going to do that, they would have already done that. They don't need a proposal from you to tell them to do something that they already know how to do. More often than not, they're hiring you because they don't have the bandwidth to do it as much as they might like to. So that's how we do proposals. Your mileage may vary. Your company may vary. Things will vary, especially based on how many lawyers are involved. I do strongly recommend that you have a master services agreement in place so that scopes of work and proposals can be shorter. You don't want to have to put 48 pages of legalese on a proposal. Make sure that that's in place first. If you have follow-up questions about this, please leave a comment in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data analytics and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.